66-38 Tigers. I'm going to give you my good, bad, and ugly from the game. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at LSU's 66-38 victory over Vanderbilt. But before we get started, if you could please leave a like on this video. And also drop in the comments who your player of the week was. And if you really want to put some thought into it, don't pick Joe Burrow or Ja'Marr Chase. So let's take a look at some things that I think went well for LSU in this game. So I'm going to do exactly what I said don't do. My first good thing from the game has to be the passing game, specifically Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase. Joe set a single game school record with 6 passing touchdowns, and Chase could have broken the single game receiving yards record in my opinion if the game wasn't so out of hand. Prior to the game, I think I picked LSU to score like in the mid-40s for this game. And even I was kind of like, I wonder if I'm kind of being a little bit of a homer to pick them scoring that much. But they almost put up 70. And while we're on the topic of the passing game, I want to talk about Myles Brennan a little bit. You know, I'm going to be honest, I'm not hugely impressed with Myles Brennan, but I think it's very important to remember who he's playing with. You know, he doesn't have the chance to play with guys like Ja'Marr Chase, Terrace Marshall, Justin Jefferson, the starting offensive line, Lloyd Cushenberry, those kind of guys. So just keep in mind that he's not playing with guys that he will be playing with next year as the starter. And I don't even think you can really give him that starting position yet, but more than likely I think he will be your starter next year. Racey McMath, he had 5 catches for 48 yards, and you know, when I looked at the box score on ESPN after the game, I was really kind of surprised. It really felt like he had more than 48 yards receiving to me. And then I think his touchdown catch was his first career touchdown as well. So I think he's a guy that can just keep improving, and by the end of the season, he's gonna be a guy that you hear a lot of, in my opinion. Eric Stingley got his first interception of his career, first of many interceptions. They kind of picked on him in the first half a little bit. I didn't think it was nearly as bad as people were kind of making it out to be, but he rebounded very strongly in the second half. And Tyler Shelvin, that guy was everywhere. That's a 5-star nose tackle coming out of Louisiana a couple years back. For a little while there, you really had to kind of wonder to yourself if he was ever going to have not even a 5-star type impact or just any impact at all. Was he ever going to get on the field? But he was great yesterday. Micah Baskerville, he's another guy that I mean, it's kind of funny because you're only, 4 games into the season. But it seemed like those first 2 weeks there, you kind of heard people asking, oh, where's Micah Baskerville? And truth is, he just got kind of passed up because of how deep LSU is at linebacker with Jacob Phillips and Michael Divinity and Clark and Queen. And you know, you keep going down the list, and to see him make the impact that he's made on special teams is really good to see. He recovered the onside kick to start the second half and almost took it back to the house. And he also had the blocked punt and the recovery for the touchdown as well. And then while we're on special teams, how about Jacob Phillips recovering that punt inside the 5? That thing looked like it was going into the end zone, and he was able to catch up with it. And that's a linebacker. You know, that's not a defensive back. That's not a skilled player. That's a linebacker moving like that. It was just really cool in general to see the guys from Tennessee, Jacob Phillips, Jacoby Stevens, both coming up big in the game, going back to their home state. Phillips was all over the field. Kind of seemed like every time a tackle was being made, he was there. And Jacoby Stevens had the interception. What didn't go well for LSU, or what was bad? Now I'm about to pick on the defense a good bit here, but I have to be honest, part of it, when your offense is scoring 66 points and you're turning the ball over, not like interceptions or fumbles, but just change of possession that much, your defense, they're going to give up more yards, they're going to give up more touchdowns, they're going to give up more field goals. You know, it is what it is if you want this kind of offense, which I do. But the defense definitely still has things that they need to improve on. Did I say approve or improve? Things they need to improve on. I'm going to pick on Grant Delpit first. If he doesn't pick up his play, he's losing a ton of money in the NFL right now. I still think he'll be a pretty high pick because of his potential, because of his skill set, things like that. And I'm gonna pick on him, but he still had a play in the second or third quarter that he closed down on a Vanderbilt receiver, you know, and that can't be coached. That's pure skill. And that's the kind of thing that's still going to get him picked high. But like, dude, you have to wrap up. You have to make some of those tackles. He's still in position. I'd like to see how many more yards LSU's defense has allowed this year, because Grant Delpit just whiffed on a tackle. And I've read some people saying that, oh, he's saving himself for the NFL. And it's like, no, he's not. He's doing something even more dangerous by just launching himself into the offensive player without breaking down, wrapping up, and all that good stuff, you know? It's just fundamentals. And I think in this game, in past weeks, you did have some kind of stuff that was just the defense not living up to expectations. But this game, it was more just fundamentals to me, assignments, things like that you don't see LSU's defense getting beat on very often. Vanderbilt's first play of the game, which I think was a 31-yard run, that was directly caused by Queen going into the wrong gap and leaving just a interstate wide running lane. And that's not Vanderbilt beating you, that's you just not doing what you're supposed to do. And then the outside linebackers, if you don't have Chase on that field, to me, you have Anthony, you have Moore, and you have Thornton. And you look at all those dudes, and you're like, damn, that's first round. Those guys look like they're going to be putting up 12 sacks in the NFL on Sundays. But just like, where are they? Like, they can't get any pressure on the quarterback. And that's something that LSU just they need to figure out how to get more pressure on the quarterback. And I don't know if it's really fixable this season, to be honest. I know you have some guys you have to get back. You have to get Richard back. You have to get Glenn Logan back. But I don't think any of those guys are guys that are just gonna be wreaking havoc in the backfield what feels like every play, you know? The fumble before halftime, that kind of seemed like LSU going away from their identity. And as much as I like the offense, I don't think they're built to go slow and just run the football anymore. You know, you have to do what you do. And by them trying to just sit on the ball for halftime, I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know if Orgeron was trying not to run up the score. But by them sitting on the ball, that really changed the outlook of the entire game. You go down and score right there. It's 45-10 going to halftime. Burrow plays, what, a series, 2 series coming out in the third quarter. Maybe Marshall doesn't get hurt, but that play changed everything in the third and fourth quarters to me. You would have seen Miles a lot earlier. And it's a lot different. It's a completely different situation. But at Texas, I mean, we've all heard it. The Ensminger, hey, coach, what you want to do? You want to run the 4-minute offense? You know? And they're like, no, let's go down and score. And they did the exact opposite, and that cost them this game. Luckily, it wasn't a bigger game like Bama or Florida or Auburn that could have really come back and bit them. But hopefully, they kind of learned from that mistake and it doesn't happen again. And my final bad from the game is that reverse targeting. I'm not a rules expert, I don't pretend to be, but to me that was exactly what they're looking at in targeting. I don't think he fully put his head down, but he did kind of put his head down a little bit, and that was right to the head or neck, which that's what they're supposed to be trying to prevent, right? So for you to actually get that right on the field and then come back and turn it over and saying, oh no, that wasn't targeting, that's just poor officiating to me. Which isn't a surprise in the SEC or college football in general. And the ugly for me, this one's kind of more ticky-tacky. I don't really know if you can call it ugly, but I kind of felt like I had to put something here. First one's gonna be the injuries. Jefferson went off. That seems to be much about nothing. He's going to be fine. Terrace Marshall, of course, the broken bone in his foot, like I mentioned earlier. I mean, it's a if and but sort of deal, but 45-10 at halftime, he's not in the game that late, you know, doesn't happen. But regardless, broken bone in his foot, had surgery this morning, Sunday, and he's going to be out for 5 weeks, I think. They're hoping to have him back for the Auburn game, but even if you don't get him back for that game, you have a bye week, and then you have to play Bama the week after. So he should be back for Bama, which I had said yesterday, as long as he's back for that game, I don't really care. Because as good as he is, as good as he's playing, you still have Jefferson, you still have Chase, and then you still have tons of other options to go to. And then the Divinity injury, you haven't heard too much about that. He's supposed to be having x-rays. I've heard it could be a couple weeks, and I've heard it wasn't a big deal at all. So who knows? LSU has a bye week, so you probably won't hear all that much this week, but hopefully he's back quick. Oh, and I'm also happy that they put him back on the outside. I never liked him going to the going inside. You know, he's more of an outside backer in my opinion. And in the long run, the entire team will be better with him playing outside. The Vanderbilt turf is one of my uglies. I don't know if you can really say if that was natural grass that some of these injuries would have been prevented, but the footing seemed pretty awful. And then you had guys just getting caught in the turf altogether. So I know you see more and more teams going to this turf field, which kind of sucks. Kind of want to keep it natural grass. It's safer. There's more give, you know. But they're not in the West, they're in the East. And I don't even know the next time we go there, so. And then the final ugly that I had written down, I went back and watched the game this morning, it was Austin Deculus. And he wasn't as bad as I originally thought. I'd heard a lot of people going like, whew, Deculus, man. And I think he had one blitz pickup that he missed in like the first quarter. And he may have got beat a little bit a couple times, but that blitz pickup's really the only time I can remember him really getting beaten and it costing them by getting a hit on Burrow. So yeah, anytime you win 66-38, a lot of stuff has to go well. So this weekend you have a bye week, then you have Utah State, and then the big one, Florida. So I'm looking forward to that one. Please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm planning on doing more of these. I hope you guys enjoy them. I hope they get some traction. I hope they create some discussion down in the comments. I love my Tigers. I love talking about my Tigers. So, all right guys, till next time, peace.